Welcome to the Riff. Today, Jeremy and Justin sit down to discuss Easter. We hope to see you at one of the services and that Easter is an impactful weekend. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, Riff listeners. This is a great spring morning. And Justin, welcome.
Thanks for welcoming me.
Hey, you are welcome.
Listen, it's cold in the studio.
It is cold in the studio.
I'm shivering.
Yeah. And you are well layered.
I am.
It is cold. The beauty is it'll turn hot in the studio in no time flat. So not like today, but by the summer, you'll be dreaming of days like today. So wherever you're listening, I know that this is going to be dropped here in another week or so. So by then it might be mid 70s.
Oh, just gorgeous out, right?
Yeah, almost humid.
I know.
So hope you're having a great day wherever and however you're listening, however you're riffing today. We want to take today, this will not be our longest riff episode. This might be one of our shorter in the last several months for sure. We want to take some time to just go a little bit behind the scenes of why Easter is such a big deal for North Point, for our mission. And we do realize that there are some Riff listeners who are not connected to North Point. You just love the silky tones of Justin's voice or whatever. But today we want to talk about what the next steps are for all of us on this mission at North Point of helping people find and follow Jesus, creating those safe environments for that to happen. We're going to talk about how we can leverage this opportunity coming up. So Let's dive in. So Justin, I'll start with a question for you.
Oh my.
Easter is the day where most people are more open to coming to church. They say 50% of people in the Ozarks will be at one of an Easter service sometime.
Who's they?
They would be survey specialists.
I've never met one.
I've never been surveyed. Have you ever been called and said, "Hey, I'm doing a survey"?
I've never met a survey specialist
from Barna.
Never.
I don't know who Barna is, but they are good at surveying, but apparently not good enough to find us. No. So 50% of the people are going to show up, which is a lot compared to other parts of the world. But bottom line is, how does that impact our strategy of what we're trying to accomplish on the Easter service?
Yeah, we always talk about Easter in a way that it's mission magnified.
Yes.
Right. We always talk about that when it comes Easter
What does that mean? Mission magnified. I like that Eminem.
That means that we got to give the best representation of A, the mission that we're on, and B, Jesus.
Yes.
Right? If it is going to be that one moment in the year to where that person is more likely to come onto a campus or say, man, I'm interested in a spiritual conversation, I feel something maybe tugging me here or there, we've got to be so crystal clear. And it has to be so focused on what we're trying to accomplish. What are we trying to accomplish? Create a safe place for people to find and follow Jesus.
Yes.
So it's that. It's like if we don't get the mission right today, all 51 other weeks, I'm like, what are we doing? Like we should be able to absolutely nail the mission. So that's what we're focused on. So a lot of people will ask, and people by people, I mean like people that are within church. Man, what are we doing? Barna? They always ask questions.
The survey people.
What are we doing for Easter? Right. I can't wait. It's like, well, probably very similar to what we always do, but really well.
Yes. Right.
Right. I mean, that's the key. Like, can we do what we do really, really well on that weekend? So we're not bringing in anything different, crazy. It's not going to be this like, come and see. You can't believe what we're going to do.
Recreate the resurrection.
It's going to be awesome. And then the next week you're like, oh, this is what we really do. This is what we really do. And you're like, oh, this is weird. So that's what we mean by mission magnified.
And I think that's important as we kind of go behind the curtain here of the why we do what we do. For those who are listening who are North Pointers, is I think it's helpful. It could be helpful to understand our goal that Easter is not to dazzle and impress and be the most creative place ever into, okay, what can we do this year? Last year we did this. What can we do this year? Our full-on goal is to give, like you said, the most clear picture of who Jesus is, why we think it's important, how this impacts our mission, because you keep people based on how you win people. And so if it's like, man, the production here, this will put Sight and Sound out of business because you guys do it better. Man, that's a tough treadmill. Like what's next week is. So we want to do what we do. We want to do it as good as possible, as clear as possible. We'll have some fun. That's who we are. We at the end of the day, and this next weekend, the week before Easter, Palm Sunday, as it is, it's kind of traditional. The week before Easter is as we start thinking about how Palm Sunday was how Jesus enters Jerusalem for his final week leading up to Easter. We're going to do a weekend talking about our mission. And it's going to be a mess. It's my favorite text to talk about. If you've been coming to North Point any length of time, and you don't recognize the text, I'm super offended because we are talking about what is our mission. Yeah. Our mission in an Easter, the week leading to Easter, I want us all on the same page. Our mission is that at the end of the week, we want people to be able to say, man, I think I see Jesus and I think he's talking to me. That's our mission. And man, no matter how long you've been coming to North Point, this weekend, man, embrace this mission all over again. And then let's all get on this page of how do we leverage this great opportunity that Easter presents. So a couple of things I want to talk about here is how can we, and this is way bigger than a staff, this is way bigger than a select group of core people. How can everyone who's on this mission called North Point, how can they help make Easter meaningful for the people who are going to show up? So one of the things that we're going to talk about is the different times of services. So walk us through. I think we have a cheat sheet. I think we have our websites. We'll have our Easter service schedule there. But walk us through what our times look like on Easter weekend, and that's a week and a half from now.
Yeah. So Saturdays 5 and 6:30. That's going to be at Springfield.
Yes.
And Nixa. Both of those. So an added Saturday night service.
Yes.
Which should be a party.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Helicopters.
Oh, just, yeah. Only Saturday, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they're not, I think it's Sunday. Either one of those. I'm sure whichever one you show up to won't be there. But that's what Saturday looks like. And then some added services on Sunday. So you've got Springfield and Nixa, 8, 9:30, and 11.
Those are different times. So 5 o'clock is the same time on Saturdays. We're adding one.
6:30.
Sundays, we're switching it all up.
Sunday is a shuffle, right? Because we're going to add that third at Springfield and Nixa, right? So 8, 9:30, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
That's what those look like.
And so Republic, you're going to have an additional service. Okay.
9:30 and 11.
Okay.
So that time is also kind of shifted a little bit from their normal time. So 9:30 and 11. And then Dream Center, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And Dream Center campus, I mean, that's usually their time is 10:30. They're going to be starting some festivities at 10:30.
Okay.
There's going to be some food. There's going to be some fun. There's going to be some celebration. But 11 o'clock is when it starts.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So here's what I want us all to understand is Easter, why we have extra times is because this will be the day where we have more people than any other time during the year who show up and want to experience Easter and have a meaningful service for their Easter weekend. And so we have these times. One of the things that we would love to do is make sure that we have all these times because they're unique in front of people. Because you can we don't control Google. We don't control some of these other things that people could research online. So it's always unique when we have a certain week where we have to change times. We can control our website, we can control our app, we can control social media. So it's helpful for our people in our congregation to be able to share this online. Because these unique times will be different than if someone Googles because we don't have the ability to change some of those things.
So true. And a really great tool. I mean, if you find yourself in a lobby of North Point, okay? There's 4 of them. There's key tags in the lobby that you can grab. And those key tags, pop them on your key. And all it just says North Point Church. Really cool. Looks like a gym. It's not. I mean, you could come here and you could do some push-ups, but I don't think it'd be like considered.
Well, I've been thinking about
it. Yeah, I know. You look great, man. Your shoulders are in tip-top shape.
I've been carrying you for like 10 years now, man.
This says North Point on one side, and then on the other side, it's just a QR code. And that QR code will change during the season, but it's an easy piece. So like in Easter season, and you're talking to a friend, you're like, oh yeah, you should come with me. Well, there's multiple times. I don't expect somebody to remember all of those. So just be like, yeah, just scan this QR code. And immediately it gives all the times for Easter.
What
right?
I like to say to my friends with a key tag is, hey, QR this bad boy. And they're like, yeah, I will.
So you.
And then they QR that
You've
thing
always said
all up
that.
in its grill, and then they know the service time. So
that's a great tool. So again, grab a key card. And
This weekend.
all of those QR codes, they're the same exact QR code on all of them. And like I said, they'll change during Christmas, during Easter, during summer. It'll have normal times. It'll just link you to whatever we're talking about and pushing. Really easy way.
that is the key to sharing.
Oh, I like what you've done
key
there.
tag, yeah.
I like what you've done. And then the other way, serving. I mean, serving is a massive opportunity on Easter. When we
Right.
talk about Mission Magnified, talk to us a little bit about serving. What does that do? What are we looking for? What are we hoping for? What are we asking? What kind of opportunities are there? What does that look like?
Okay, when people show up on whichever campus, from the street to the seat, we understand they will have already shaped in their mind what they think of the experience they're about to have before they even begin the experience. The experience begins in the street. And so that's true every week, but it's true times 100x on Easter weekend when we're talking about people who are open to this experience. And so this is going to be, I think there were 250 volunteer opportunities across the different campuses for Kid Point alone. And we're talking between 500 to 800 volunteer opportunities. And we have more than that. We have plenty of people who are bought in on this mission to be able to fill this. We would say we were about 2,500 people on a weekend. And I would say this would be a weekend where if we had about 1,000 people to say, hey, can I be utilized in a way to help make sure someone's experience on Easter weekend is the most advantageous for them to hear from Jesus. And that goes from it's kind, it's clear. When I show up on campus, there's a big sense of care from Kid Point to lobby to coffee. To seating, all these things. No one's excited about a packed building except a pastor. And I will be jazzed on Easter. It's my favorite day. But if someone shows up at a place and it's hard for them to find a parking spot, it's hard for them to know where to drop off their kids, the kid line takes too long, coffee isn't ready, they have to crawl over a bunch of strangers' laps to be able to find a seat. All these different things. This is not a great experience. So we're not trying to say, hey, look how many people are here. We're trying to say, man, is this a good experience for you? So all that to say is there are so many significant ways to serve, from a parking lot, just smiling, being that first point of contact, helping people find a spot, from doors, from creating that experience when they walk in, from helping people find seats, everything in between. You might not even have a preference. If you have a preference of where you can serve that day, I know we can plug you in a significant spot. So on our show notes, you can go right now and you can sign up to serve and say, just let us know what campus it is. We will follow up ASAP. It is our number one priority to help connect you with a meaningful opportunity to serve that will help move the mission forward on Easter weekend. And honestly, we couldn't do this without hundreds and hundreds of North Pointers who say, I'm all in for Easter. So what we'd love for you to do is figure out a service that you can attend and figure out a service that you can serve. And I know that if we do that together, we will be able to do what we can and then trust that God's going to do what he can. If we provide a great experience for people, I just know that God's going to speak to them. And so we would love for everybody who's listening, if you're not already connected to a serving opportunity for Easter weekend, 8th and 9th of April, that you just go online right now, fill that out, let us know, and we'll plug you in right away.
Great.
Serving. Okay. So there's another big piece, Justin, and that is, and this is a big ask. And so we are aware of the ask, but we're asking North Pointers to use your most trusted investment, and that's your relationships, to be able to say, those of you who have built some relational equity and you have some people who might be looking for a spot or open to a spot to come and experience the presentation of Jesus on Easter weekend, that you would trust North Point in a way to bring them with you. So what does that look like? Why is that important for the mission? How can, what's our commitment to those people?
I think there's a couple things that come to my mind why it's important. Two very quick ones. It makes our table bigger and not bigger like bigger's better. Right. It makes it to where we have an open seat. I mean, you're going to be talking about, like you talked Palm Sunday, I'm not going to give it away if you haven't heard it, but it's all about that. It's making sure that there's an open space, right? Like somebody is trying to get through this crowd of people. Yeah. And North Point, we are committed to make sure that we are helping them find their way through the crowd. Yeah. Right. So inviting somebody forces us to make sure that we're making space at the table for them. And second, it changes your perspective. It changes everything you see, you feel, you believe, you think. When you've got someone sitting next to you hoping, man, I just hope they hear and they see Jesus today, right? Yeah. It changes you. And it changes, just like for me, we brought a friend, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. There were so many things that I saw, and I live here, right? Like I've been here for, I love it, right? But there's so many things that I saw. I'm like, what are we doing that for? No. We got to say it this way. No, he doesn't understand that. No. That doesn't make sense to me. What are we doing? Like, it just changes. And honestly, it aligns you with the mission even more, because it's like, oh, I get why we're here. Yeah. I get why we're here. So for me, those two things are paramount. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, that would be my number one is what you just walked through, is when you walk through an experience on a weekend with someone that you're relationally invested in who takes you up on an invite, my goodness, it just reminds you of that mission. So I would just say, hey, throw it out there. Our goal is not, hey, let's bring people in so we have a huge number. We're going to have a lot of people, already there. But I think this is the best weekend of the year for you to invite a friend along.
For me?
Who needs clarity? Yeah, for you, for me, for all of us.
The listener? You.
All of us.
All of us.
I think that this is going to be the most intentional weekend of the year. So if you have somebody in your life you're ready to introduce to North Point, I think this is a great weekend. So we'll wrap this up today, but bottom line is, let's get the service times in our mind that are different this Easter weekend, unique for the Easter weekend. Let's figure out a way to serve, and that is an ask. That is an ask that we're bringing to this great mission that we call North Point. And so North Pointers, take a moment, sign up to serve, and 3, pray about who you can invite. And then let's believe is, as we present the message of Jesus, as we create an environment that's a safe place, that people will say yes to Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I believe this could impact a whole lot of lives. So I'm thankful for Easter. I'm excited for Easter, and it's about all of us jumping on that mission. So thank you, Riff listeners. This is going to be the shortest. Don't get used to this timeline.
This is great.
Yeah.
Right? This is one drive.
Well, if it's time and a half, this might be just your trip to the Walmart, right? I mean, I listen to it on time and a half.
You go 1.5?
Yeah, I just like the way I sound like a chipmunk. It's really cool. So, hey, have a great week, Riff listeners. And this Sunday, we'll talk about the mission North Point, following weekend, Easter. Have a great week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Riff. We'll have a brand new episode every week, wherever you find podcasts.